Hey guys, Marshall here with Plausibly Anything. Today's topic: pickup, early stages of pickup. Whenever you meet a girl, um, this is a very controversial thing because uh, a lot of people think that you shouldn't be able to have some sort of strategy to things, um, and those people often have difficulty fascinating people, and that's sort of what this spectrum is. How can you fascinate somebody quickly? And well, I guess you don't. It doesn't have to be quickly, but how can you can achieve this? Um, maybe you can achieve this in a stable fashion, where you can sort of just slowly build up to fascination or whatever. But whenever you're trying to break the ice with somebody, you're starting out, and some of you may struggle. Sometimes I did too. I didn't always have a great thing to say immediately. I would start conversations sometimes in a way that was like kind of stale. Um, and what what do you do there? How do you sort of take go from staleness to intrigue? How do you create this aspect? Because a lot of times, if you're meeting people out, they're going to be in like social groups and things like that. How can you create some intrigue for the whole group? It's not just like one person necessarily. This isn't just something that's about going up and meeting one person, but meeting multiple people to the point where they are intrigued with you. Because if they aren't intrigued with you, if they're pretty comfortable with what the social circle that they have or the group that they're with, they may not want to include you. Um, and so this is an important time to to potentially even receive some resistance. Um, and so what you can do is use playful teasing to help uh, win over somebody, especially the person that's like uh, that may be having a problem with you engaging in their social group. They may not want the competition, and so what you could do is playfully tease, because you have to kind of flirt into that's not a great word to use in this situation, because you can you're on this like boundary of potentially there being some aggression, especially if someone's like what would be called like the leader of the group, or the alpha male. Some people refer to that. Um, a lot of times they might want to even get physical if you really piss them off. So playful teasing, as long as you don't cross a line, they won't cross a line. So whenever somebody like has says something, or tries to get you to fall into their frame. I had one time I experienced somebody like saying, "Oh, high five! You came up to talk to us, high five!" And me being a little bit distracted by this, I actually did high five the guy. Um, and it was like I had fallen into his frame of like, which was kind of strange. Like, but really, what you should do is when someone kind of like tries to like shock you in a way, sort of like put you on the spot, you could call them out too. Like, how silly is it to just like randomly high five somebody? Like, I could just be like, "Why do you want to high five me, man? I don't haven't even said a word to you yet." But also not being that kind of sounds like a frustrated way. Or you could be like, "High five? How about a low five? Wouldn't that be cool?" Just kind of like troll them a bit. Wouldn't that be really sick if you low five me right now? That'd be and or something like that. You just have to have fun with it, and so you can tease each other by just like sarcasm, whatever you have to do to sort of unarm somebody in a way. So that is the breaking of the ice, um, and oftentimes you're gonna need to create some curiosity too. So all these several ones that we just went through: staleness into the intrigue, into teasing, into curiosity, and then when you want to reach fascination. And so what a lot of times you can do, there's all kinds of different tools to your that you can use as soon as you start. You may develop these tools just basically over repetition, but there's these options. Whatever your skill set is, you can create. You can even reach the fascination part way quicker if you get really good at this. There's things called like cold reading. Cold reading. I think we're gonna get into that next episode. But being able to sort of read somebody in a way so that you don't even, or even attempting to cold read can even create some curiosity and fascination. You could say something like, "Oh, you look like the bad girl. You look like the good girl," and you could even like flip flop it to make it seem like ridiculous, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're so wrong. That's the other way around completely." And so you're just like creating this sort of dynamic of like trying to guess who they are, because if you just continue to ask questions and you don't sort of have um, a versatility to just kind of like try and cold read um, on top of asking questions, because a lot of times you have women that are shy but very beautiful, and you want to be able to sort of get them to open up. So what you can do, because they're not answering your questions, maybe they just, that's the type of person that they are. They don't really give themselves away very quickly. So you have to create that curiosity in a way. And I mean, this is an extreme example, but one of the most popular like pickup artists back whenever I was young, it was Mystery. He was on VH1. He had a television show, and what he does to create intrigue and fascination, or he creates the curiosity and fascination um, with mystery, which the meaning mystery, mystery in the meaning of being a magician, and fascinating them with a magic trick. They're curious of like who this guy is. He shows up. He shows up, and literally he's geared towards curiosity and fascination every single time, because that's what the style. That's why he became a magician, I guess, in a way. He wanted to fascinate people, and that really helped him uh, open people up to him. It helped break ice. It was like he would do a little magic trick. All of a sudden, everybody's, "Woo! Wow! How'd you do that? Oh my gosh! He's so mysterious. He's amazing. That's Mystery." You know, it's so goofy, and everybody hates it because not a lot of people even know magic. I don't know magic. Maybe I don't even like how he could just fascinate people with his magic tricks. I feel like that's what literally he probably dealt with so many people that were just like, "Well, magic is so stupid. Like, ooh, you're gonna do some magic tricks and fascinate people? I'm just gonna not do any of that and not fascinate anybody." You know, it's just like people are, I mean, you should feel fascinating by just being yourself, but that's sometimes it's not even gonna work. But really, you can fascinate people by just having an amazing outlook in life and having that energy about yourself. Like, where Mystery also kind of had energy on top of the magic, so he really had them both. But what you can do is you can kind of have that energy, um, but also use that to fascinate people in a way. But don't always like don't don't spill all the beans, but create that mysteriousness, the curiosity, and provide the energy and provide some value in conversation, some humor, um, kind of always having something to say, and then also having these great outlooks in life. Because if you have these like really strong outlooks, as soon as somebody's trying to peel back the layers of who you are as a human, if you have like the strong beliefs, you can show that to a woman. You can show that to even the men of the group too, so that they're just like, "Wow, this guy has a really interesting outlook in life. I just learned so much from this guy in a matter of like talking to him for 2 minutes." Whereas like I haven't met anybody like this in a while that has really just surprised me and fascinated me. Just an amazing outlook. That's like what you should be looking for. Um, I'm not the type of person that really wants to go up and sort of have lines to say. So I'm not even going to talk about that. I think that's kind of generic in a way, and it actually is kind of a problem, because that would be for like early stage people that just have so much trouble that they can't even talk to somebody to have something written down to say. So really, what you need to have is like these core beliefs, these strong beliefs that are just fascinating. Like one core belief that I have recently that I like to like that is kind of fascinating is that it's sort of intertwined with like spirituality and the chakras, and I believe that there is something different going on in our energy and our magnetic fields of our body. It's almost like a spirit. It's like an energy. Our soul is kind of like a store of energy in our body, and so if I started talking to somebody about that, they probably never heard that perspective, because I don't even think I've heard that perspective or perception of how a soul is. Like I from that sort of standpoint, everybody has a soul. They have a magnetic field inside of them, and so whether they are um, if they're attractive, they're kind of like a magnet to other people in a way. Like I could say, I think you have a good energy. Is magnetic. Your magnetic field. She might not know what I'm talking about. I explained that to her. You have a magnetic field inside of you. It's your energy source. It's it's the closest thing to being able to understand what a soul is. Um, and I almost kind of see. I almost seem like I kind of consider that to be like a different dimension in a way. The energy, like there's we live in a dimensional world, and so one dimension that I don't think is even described is energy. And energy is like it's such a magnificent uh, phenomenon. This energy that has created gravity, planets that just rotate around the sun. They're tied to this rotation as the sun moves through the universe, um, by this by energy of magnetic field. It's like stored energy almost in a way that draws things to it. Um, and I'm not an astrophysicist, so this might not even seem like the correct terminology, or whatever. Like I don't. I'm not. I haven't studied physics books lately, so I don't know if I'm maybe making bad connections here, but really, when you can have outlooks like that are just different than the average person, uh, that sort of stuff will resonate with women, men, especially women, because women oftentimes are very idealistic. So they like ideas. They like whenever a man talks about their passions and their ideas for the future. Some women really will resonate with that. Other women won't. And so that's going to kind of go into the next whenever we talk about tomorrow is going to kind of involve the same things, like social types and types of women and things like that. Um, a lot of this stuff doesn't always work with certain women. Certain women may not want to be fascinated early or whatever. I don't know about that, but like there's just there's certain patterns that work better with certain types of women. And it's hard to describe, but that's more along the lines for next episode, what episodes to come. That's more of like that's more down the road, because whenever you can understand what the type of woman that you're talking to, or type of person in general, and you can sort of cold read who they are, what they stand for, um, how they may have got this mentality through their ancestry, and you can understand these things, and understand that there's more to meet the eye, and have this sort of outlook, the creativity, the playfulness, your ability to create the intrigue and tease, your ability to be okay with like them not even approving of you, so that you could like even do things like it's called disqualifying yourself. This is like some early stage like pickup terminology, but it makes sense. Whenever you're like teasing a way of just disqualifying yourself to the person, you can sort of create this dynamic that you're okay with them, you and her not getting along. And so that's one way to create intrigue, that with somebody that is very resistant to you, or somebody that you have similarities with her, but she's not really interested in that. If she's like, yeah, we do have some things in common, and you're like, yeah, you know what, this probably wouldn't work out. We have way too many things in common. Like, this is going to crash and burn real quick. This is, being able to say that stuff where instead of worrying about, oh no, this isn't going to work out for us. She's beautiful and we have too much in common now. Like, it's having that ability to use these different tools. And whenever you see that she's the type of person that's looking for similarities, then you qualify her on those things that you approve of, those things that like fall in line with your belief system. Like, oh, you're a very spiritual person. I love people that can really understand that they have a spirit inside them. They really value that, versus just thinking of themselves as a physical being. So you having this ability to sort of use these tools, even like literally as a conversation starting, in the first couple minutes of the conversation, you're creating this kind of a tension in a way. The ability to create this tension early, creating curiosity, teasing, fascination. If you can, you may not even need to do all of those things. You may not need to intrigue, tease, and curiosity and fascination. You don't need to touch on all of them, but really, if you can hit on some of those early on, and create some sort of early connection, it's going to do wonders. And that's what we're next episode we're going to talk about. I think maybe core connection, and yeah, I'm really excited about that, because we're talking about things that I literally buried this stuff a long time ago, but I really enjoyed learning these things that were never taught to me by anybody. I searched for them myself, and I figured these things out, and they've always been in my mind. I even still have documents that I have saved from years ago where I talked about where I was working out. I even had like, I took this stuff a little bit more seriously than the normal person, and I think that romance is something that you should take really seriously, or else oftentimes you'll end up without romance in your life. So unless you take it seriously, unless you go for it, it's not just going to come to you. For some people it may come to them, but it's not always going to come to you. And yeah, we're going to discuss this further, and we're going to get more into even the ideas of connection and cold reading, and being able to like figure somebody out before they've even uncovered that much to you. That is like incredibly fascinating for them, especially women that are very socially calibrated humans. If you can sort of discover why they tick the way they do in a really quick manner, they're going to wonder, who is this guy? How does he know these things? How is he so socially aware? So whenever you increase your awareness, you start doing these things, all of a sudden socializing becomes very easy, um, and you can deal with a lot of, you know, the walls that people put up with you, and to sort of discover ways that you can fall back to those same tools that you use, and all of a sudden you start to enjoy it more and more. It's like more of a chess game, and you have different tools in every scenario, and the more you sort of are conscious of these different scenarios and what to do, all of a sudden, uh, romance is so much fun, and it doesn't seem as stressful, and you can go out and really enjoy yourself and enjoy your life and be present and do all those things that we've talked about on the channel. If you want to check out any other old videos, check out the playlist Mentoring 365. This is Marshall here. I'm out. I'll see you guys next time. This is Plausibly Anything, and you guys take care. We'll see you next time, guys.